Is Trump ending trade talks over tax? Will Canada's digital tax backfire? Are US tech giants facing a $2 billion blow? Tensions have escalated between the United States and Canada yet again. President Donald Trump has abruptly suspended all trade talks with Ottawa, citing Canada's new digital services tax as a direct and blatant attack. Before moving to what Donald Trump said, let us understand what Canada's digital tax is. Canada's Digital Services Tax Act, or DSTA, passed in June 2024, came into force on June 28. It imposes a 3% levy on tech companies' revenues from Canadian users, even if those companies don't have a physical presence in the country. Large firms earning over $820 million globally and more than $14.7 million from Canadian users are required to pay the tax. It applies to online marketplaces, social media platforms, digital advertising, and the sale or licensing of user data. One key feature drawing criticism is the tax's retroactive nature. Payments will apply to revenues dating back to January 1, 2022. First payments are due on June 30, 2025. President Trump responded with sharp action. On Friday, he posted on Truth Social, calling the tax a direct and blatant attack on our country. He announced the termination of all trade discussions with Canada and warned of upcoming new tariffs on Canadian exports. In his words, Canada is a very difficult country to trade with. He accused Canada of imposing tariffs as high as 400% on US dairy products, and said Canada would learn its new tariffs within 7 days. Major American tech giants like Amazon, Meta, Google, and Uber could collectively face $2 billion in annual bills under Canada's new tax structure. Critics in the United States say the levy unfairly targets American firms. On June 11, 21 members of the U.S. Congress had urged Trump to pressure Canada to drop the tax. Trump has now also ordered a Section 301 investigation under the U.S. Trade Act to assess the tax's impact on U.S. commerce. The announcement ends a short-lived period of cooperation between the two neighbors. Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, had visited Trump in May. Trump also attended the G7 summit in Alberta just weeks ago. A July deadline had been set for a new trade deal, now on indefinite hold. From the Oval Office, Trump said,
"And we have all the cards. We have every single one. We don't want to do anything bad, but they have, economically, we have such power over Canada. I'd rather not use it, but they did something with our tech companies today trying to copy Europe. You know, they copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either, and it's not going to work out well for Canada. They were foolish to do it."
In response, Prime Minister Carney's office released a brief statement.
No, I didn't speak to the president today.
Any reaction to the news that put out?
No, look, we'll continue to conduct these complex negotiations in the best interests of Canadians. It's a negotiation.
Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne indicated that the tax could still be negotiated within broader trade talks. But with Trump suspending discussions, the future of those talks remains uncertain. Canada's business leaders are also urging a pause. The Business Council of Canada warned that the unilateral tax risks damaging relations with Canada's most important trading partner. In a statement, it said, "This unfortunate development has now come to pass. Canada should propose to eliminate the DST in exchange for US tariff relief." This isn't the first time Trump has used tariffs against Canada. In January, he imposed a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods and 10% on Canadian energy resources. He linked the move to Canada's alleged role in fentanyl production and illegal migration. Although paused for 30 days, those tariffs were reinstated in March. Canada is not alone in taxing digital services. France, the UK, Spain, Italy, India, and others have implemented similar taxes. Trump has previously objected to such levies and may take similar action against European allies. The European Commission has stated that digital taxation remains a key issue, especially if OECD-led global negotiations fail. EU trade talks with the US are ongoing, with a July 9th deadline looming, the same day Trump's pause on reciprocal tariffs is set to expire.